Hi, this is from Docs Update. As in our previous lecture, we have already discussed about two important essays, which are the mammary gland and the radial nerve. In this lecture, we will be discussing in detail about the brachial plexus, which is the next most important essay and most frequently asked one. To teach you in a much simpler manner, I am going to dissect the brachial plexus. So now we are going to start with the roots. So the root of the brachial plexus emerges between the scalenus anterior and the scalenus medius muscle. The nerve arising from the root supplies the muscle which bring the protraction and the retraction of the shoulder girdle. Nerve to the rhomboids, which is the dorsal scapular nerve, which comprises of the C5, and the nerve to the serratus anterior, which is the long thoracic nerve, comprises to the C5, C6 and the C7. Now let us move on to the trunks. The trunks appear in the lower part of the posterior triangle of the neck. The suprascapular nerve, it supplies to the supraspinatus, infraspinatus, shoulder joint, scapula and the acromioclavicular joint. To remember all these, I'll give you a mnemonic which is IASQ, which makes it easier for to remember all these. And next one is the subclavius nerve, which basically comprises of the C5 and the C6. It supplies to the subclavius muscle. And there is also two applied anatomy on the trunk, which is the Erb's paralysis, which is injury to the lower trunk, usually at the Erb's point, and the Klumpke's paralysis, which is injury to the lower trunk of the brachial plexus. Now let us move on to the division. The division lies behind the clavicle. The anterior division basically supplies all the muscles present on the ventral part of the thorax and the upper limb, and the posterior division, it supplies the muscle present on the dorsal part of the thorax and on the upper limb. Now let us move on to the cords. The cord gives branches to the second part of the axillary artery. Now, the following are the respective branches of the cords. So, remember the word Laila loves Majnu, where L stands for lateral pectoral nerve and L for the lateral root of median nerve and M for the musculocutaneous nerve. Now, you can locate all the three nerves that comes up at the lateral cord. Now, let us move on to the posterior cord. So, the letters of the word ulnar gives the branches of the posterior cord, where U stands for upper subscapular, L stands for lower subscapular, and N for the nerve to the latissimus dorsi, and A for the axillary nerve, and R for the radial nerve. Now, let us move on to the medial cord. The word medial and the branches of the medial cord begins with the letter M except the ulnar nerve. So, M for the medial root of the median nerve, the other M for the medial pectoral nerve, and the last one for the medial cutaneous nerve of the arm and the forearm, and the last U is for the ulnar nerve. As we have discussed the most important and every single part of brachial plexus in the diagram itself, and the most easiest way to draw the diagram is also being taught for you. Now I'll be telling you the written format of an essay in a specific hierarchy, which includes its introduction, situation, relation, branches and the applied anatomy. Let us start with a small introduction of the brachial plexus. Brachial plexus is the network of nerves present at the junction of the neck and the thorax. It supplies the muscles, joint, skin and the blood vessels of the anterior wall of the thorax, scapular region and the upper limb. It is formed by ventral division of C5, C6, C7, C8 and the T1. Brachial plexus can be fixed by two ways, which are the prefixed and the postfixed. In prefixed, when C4 root joins with C5, here C4 is large and the T4 is often absent. In case of postfixed, when T2 root joins with T1, here C4 root is absent and the contribution by T1 is large. Now, let us move on to the situation of the brachial plexus. Roots of brachial plexus emerge between the scalenus anterior and the scalenus medius muscle. Trunks appear in the lower part of the posterior triangle of the neck. Division lie behind the clavicle. The division is divided into anterior divisions and the posterior divisions. Anterior divisions supply all the muscles present on the ventral part of the thorax and the upper limb. Posterior division supplies to the muscles present on the dorsal part of the thorax and the upper limb. The cords are present in the axilla. The name of the cords are in relation with the second part of the axillary artery. The cords give branches around the second part of the axillary artery. The next most important topic is the relation of the brachial plexus. There are three relations. The first one is the supraclavicular part, where the roots and the trunks of the brachial plexus lie above the clavicle. The next one is the retroclavicular part, in which the divisions of the brachial plexus lie behind the clavicle. The third one is the infraclavicular part, where the cords and the branches of the cords lie below the clavicle. Now, let us move on to the last before topic, which is the branches. The nerves arising from the roots supply the muscles which bring protraction and the retraction of the shoulder girdle. That is, nerve to rhomboids, which is the dorsal scapular nerve, classified C5, and the nerve to the serratus anterior, that is the long thoracic one, which constitutes the C5, C6 and the C7. All these we have already seen in the diagram. Let us move on to the trunks. Subscapular nerve, which constitute the C5 and the C6, supplies supraspinatus, infraspinatus, shoulder joint, acromioclavicular joint and the scapula. Nerve to subclavius, which constitute the C5 and the C6, supply the subclavius muscle. And I have already mentioned you a mnemonic, which is IAS cube, which makes it very easier for you to remember all these joints. Now, let us move on to the cords. Following are the branches from the respective cords. Remember the mnemonic Laila loves Majnu to remember all the nerve that constitute the lateral cord. So, L stands for lateral pectoral nerve, L stands for lateral root of median nerve, and M stands for musculocutaneous nerve. The next one is the medial cord. The word medial and the branches of the medial cord begin with the letter M except the ulnar nerve. So, which is the medial pectoral, medial root of median nerve, medial cutaneous nerve of the arm and the forearm, and the ulnar nerve. Let us move on to the last cord, which is the posterior cord. Remember the mnemonic ulnar. The letters of the word ulnar give the branches of the posterior cord. U stands for upper subscapular, L for lower subscapular, N for nerve to latissimus dorsi, A for axillary nerve, and R for radial nerve. Let us move on to the last section, which is the applied anatomy. There are 5 important applied anatomy. The first one is Horner's syndrome. It is due to the involvement of the sympathetic nerve, which is contributed by T1 through the white rami communicans. It usually occurs due to an injury at the root of the brachial plexus. Erb's paralysis. Injury to upper trunk, usually at the Erb's point, causes Erb's paralysis. Clunky's paralysis. Injury to the lower trunk of the brachial plexus. Winging of the scapula is the injury to the nerve to serratus anterior. Claw hand is the injury to the ulnar nerve. As we have already discussed applied anatomy in the previous slide, the first picture shows the claw hand, which is the injury to the ulnar nerve, and the second one shows the winging of the scapula, which is the injury to the nerve of the serratus anterior. Now, let us move on to the most important section, which is the previous year MCQs. Let us start on with the first one. Which nerve arises from the 5th and the 6th cervical nerves and runs in front of the subclavian artery and lower trunk of the brachial plexus, usually being connected by a filament with the phrenic nerve? Option A, subclavian nerve, option B, median nerve, and option C, axillary nerve. The correct answer is option A, subclavian nerve. Let us move on to the second one. Which nerve of the brachial plexus originates both from the medial and lateral cords and innervates almost all flexors of the forearm as well as the thenar muscles? Option A, axillary nerve, option B, median nerve, and option C, subclavian nerve. The correct option is option B, median nerve. Let us move on to the third one. Which of the following segment in the brachial plexus does not give any branches? Option A, roots, option B, division, option C, cords, and option D, trunks. The correct option is option B, division. Let us move on to the last one. Which of the following action cannot be performed by a person suffering from Erb's paralysis? Option A, adduction. Option B, medial rotation. Option C, pronation. And option D, supination. The correct answer is option D, which is supination. I hope you understood brachial plexus very well. Our next lecture will be on the topic shoulder joint. Please like our video, subscribe it and click on to the bell icon for you to get updated with our further lectures.